Let's talk about the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars are weird. Tyler Seguin, to me, is the weirdest player in the NHL.
And I would say that the
don't know
second weirdest
why.
player in the NHL is his line mate, Jamie Benn.
They're all weird. So, all right, to me, Tyler Seguin is a guy who looked like he was one of the 3 or 4 best scorers in the NHL before the scoring boom.
Yeah.
And then he hasn't gotten worse. Like, all his numbers have stayed the same, but, like, the rest of the league around him has elevated. And it's like the scoring boom affected the entire NHL except for Tyler Seguin for some reason. It's like it just skipped over him.
Dude.
And I don't know why that is.
No, I think he got worse, bro. He was like putting up like over a point per game before the scoring boom. And
I mean, other than this year, he still really has been.
Yeah, but then Jamie Benn is the biggest epitome of that. Like, dude, he won the Art Ross before the scoring boom in a Hart Trophy, I believe. And then all of a sudden, he comes out after the scoring boom and puts up 39 points in 69 games played this season. And he got like a huge contract, like $10 million a year contract.
Right. I don't really think that was worth it, obviously. To me, I think the problem, and this is just speculation on my part, Tyler Seguin, I know he is a partier. So I don't know if that has anything to do with his decline after the scoring boom. Actually, yeah, you know what? Marshall, I'll use that word too. He probably got worse after the scoring boom. And for Jamie Benn, I mean, he scored 87 points or 82 points, whatever it was when he won that championship. So I think we all knew that he was not the best scorer in the league when that happened.
Yeah, dude, but he did it a couple years in a row, and it's just for some reason he fell way back, like face first onto his face.
Right. Yeah,
he's the planet.
Part of it is, I don't know, like, he's a bigger player and, like, more physical-ish. And when those guys, he hit 30, but, like, I don't know, it feels a little young for this steep a drop-off.
Yeah, dude, he had a fat drop-off. But then the reason that this team is so interesting is because they are still one of the, 4 play-in, like, seeding teams out west. With their highest score, which is Tyler Seguin, only having 50 points. They rely so heavily on a defensive style of game. We've seen it being Avs fans, how that the Avs like fell into the trap a lot of times this season.
It's frustrating to play them.
Yeah, it's so frustrating to play them, and they have super solid goaltending.
I mean, I feel like it's almost by design. I mean, like, you'll watch Seguin, I still feel like he could be I feel like if you might put him on a different team, he might just play out of his mind, you know? I think he definitely...
Yeah, the Stars definitely play defensively.
Right. I mean, I think that might just impact their numbers in general, but...
Yeah, still, though, like, particularly with Jamie Benn, like, the extent that it does is weird.
Yeah.
But... let's also talk a little bit about a couple of the off-season additions. One went well, the other not so much, with Joe Pavelski and Corey Perry.
When they got Corey Perry, though.
Yeah, exactly. When they got Corey Perry, they weren't expecting...
it was expected by everyone but the Stars.
Right,
yeah.
They weren't expecting Corey
him.
Perry.
And everyone else was like, hey, what are you doing there?
They were he's a role player at this point, and they knew that when they picked him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Pavelski's been quite a bit better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a big add to their lineup, for sure.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about this team, though, is their defense. I think Heiskanen is going to be in that contention with Makar and
Hughes and Dahlin and
all these young defensemen that are going to be competing for Norris's for years to come. He skates like he's just absolutely like gliding out there. He's still only 20 years old, and he was our 3rd leading scorer this year. He's one of the most exciting young defensemen in the league. They still also have like Klingberg and like Lindell, just a bunch of really solid pieces on the defense. And then just like going to their goalies too, like they have probably in for my money, the top like 1-2 punch in terms of like goaltenders in the NHL.
I keep losing my audio, and I have no idea why. So I missed most of that, but I heard we're talking about goaltenders now, and yeah, Ben Bishop is, like, I mean, one of the best in the business, honestly. Like, this is a guy that hasn't really had a Vezina year, but like has had multiple Vezina caliber years where he's been close. He is a guy that could win one, and he's been good in the playoffs. I think he could be real good this year, and he's the kind of goalie that could steal a series.
Dude, he almost did steal a series last year against St. Louis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then and Kudobin too. Like,
Kudobin's a solid backup.
A very, very solid backup. Like, it's almost their goaltending situation is one of the best in the NHL. Their defense is
I'd
very
argue
deep.
it might be the best in the NHL.
Their defense is very, very deep. And so yeah, they do play a very defensive style of game. And they are like relatively deep up front, although they, like Sagan and Ben used to be like that high caliber, like superstars, and they're not really like that anymore. Whether or not you guys have touched on it is because of like the system that they're in. Could be like a reason for that, but still, like the line of Sagan, Ben, and Radulov is very exciting and fun line to watch.
Yeah, I think a couple emerging players that I feel like had some breakout years this year: Denis Gurianov and Rupe Hintz.
Yeah, Rupe Hintz.
Both of whom look real good, like in the top 6 for Dallas.
Yep.
I do want to say though, like, we talked about Edmonton a couple weeks ago, and we talked about how bad their bottom 6 is. Dallas's is not much better. This falls off quick.
It falls off.
You got
quick, but
not a lot.
I think there's something to be said about just being able to defend. Even like, I don't know, I haven't looked that deeply into it, but obviously, if they're able to hold most of their opponents defensively, they must have some sort of two-way play. There has to be like, there's some sort of system where it's working for them. Whether that's you have a really stacked defense, which obviously I think they definitely don't have the best defense, but still up there.
One of the best,
right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting team, dude. They started out really slow this season too.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were gonna face plant, but obviously, they definitely picked up some steam there.
Yeah, they're one of the teams they're one of the teams that I'm like most scared about the Avs playing, to be honest, just because they're polar opposites from the Avs, and we've seen it in the regular season. The Avs did not play well against Dallas at all. They just kind of like have teams fall into their trap and win these 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 type of games, like, consistently.
See, but you put playoff McKinnon against them. I feel like McKinnon will.
That's why it gives me a little bit more comfort, but.
Right. No, I definitely see what you're saying though.
They've also got Radulov in there as another kind of high-end offensive guy. I feel like they've got, like, their top 6 is built with, like, you're not looking at a ton of superstars other than maybe Sagan, but you're really, really solid throughout your entire top 6, you know? Like, I feel like they've got 6 guys who could be on a first line somewhere.
No, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I think that's when. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Karim.
I was gonna say, when going back to that Edmonton comparison, I think just the fact that Edmonton's D is so shaky, and when you get down to it, you look at their bottom 6 forwards, and there's no one there. I think Dallas does not struggle as much as Edmonton does. I think they're just they're solid in at least defense, so that even if you have scrubs playing on your 4th line, you're gonna be okay still. And I think obviously they've shown that throughout the year.
Yeah, definitely. And I called Edmonton a contender, and I think Dallas is slightly better. So, getting into our verdicts here, I'm also going to call Dallas a contender. I think that they can make a little bit of noise. I think they're going to have trouble if they run into a Vegas or a Colorado out west, and I think if there's quite a few teams out east if they did manage to make it to a cup they'd struggle with. But I think that they have the ability to make some noise. They've got some veteran leadership. They've got some guys who've been there and done it before, and they've got the goaltending, which is key. They've got, like I said, I think maybe the best goaltending situation in the NHL. So I definitely think they can make a run. I am calling them a contender. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Zach.
Yeah, I'm going contender as well. A guy that we didn't touch on that could be an X factor in a series or the play-in games. Alexander Radulov. He definitely is a player that has some speed, some skill. We've seen him score 4 goals in a game before, multiple occasions. This guy, he can put the puck in the net, and the Stars definitely need him to do that if they're going to make a run. So, but I have to go contender for sure.
Yeah, I'm going contender. Defense wins championships a lot, and if they can stick with the system that was proven to be successful for them in the regular season and carry it over into this return to play format, then this is a pretty scary team to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Karim?
Yeah, I agree. I think they've been a contender for a while. I think you still have the same core that they relied on for the past couple of years. They were this close last year. I think they could still definitely, obviously, like Marshall was saying, you look at the matchups. I think that'll be the biggest thing, but they definitely can go all the way.